even though you ended up pursuing television, film, stuff like that, you weren't a big film buff growing up.
I had seen three movies in my life before I changed my major to filmmaking. I'd seen Pollyanna, I'd seen The Parent Trap, the original, and I'd seen Pinocchio. And now I'm a freshman at the University of Washington watching the fourth movie of my life, and its title was The Godfather. Blood was spurting, and my friends were standing up and cheering when people were getting massacred. And I had made a promise to the Lord just a few months before that because I was really bored with Christianity. Hey, I love you, but you're kind of boring. You get away with that when you're 18. And I made this promise always to say yes to him. And I see this movie, and I walked out of the theater numb at the power of storytelling. And I gave God a good piece of my mind, told him to wake up and smell the coffee. And you know what you should do, God, and thanks for asking. You need to raise up these movie guys and get them to, and every time I told him what he had to do, it kind of bounced back at me. And so we had quite a few arguments, but I kept getting this, didn't you promise always to say yes to me thing? So I changed my major to filmmaking. There wasn't a film school in the country that would take me. I didn't even know how to watch a movie. The only one that would take me was in Rome, Italy. Newsflash, they don't speak English in Rome, Italy, at least in the school. But I was there for a year, and there's a whole lot of things that people don't know about me. And one of them is I've got a speech deal. I was pretty old as a kid before I ever spoke. I had to don't try this at home, kids, but I cheated my way through high school taking a foreign language to get into the university just because words are not my friend. So now I'm in Rome, Italy, studying a subject I know nothing about in a language I can't speak. And I was sort of the class loser, but I wasn't bored. And so I thought, all right. So I spent a year of that uh, humiliation. Moved back to Seattle, got married, moved down to Los Angeles to become a rich and famous film director. Discovered they already had plenty of those. They didn't need any more, and thanks for playing. And proceeded pretty much to starve. We didn't starve. We just became experts at macaroni and cheese and top ramen. And I'm saying, God, I promise to say yes to you, and I'll you name it, I'll do it. Well, except write, because you know how I got C's and D's in my one writing class in college, and words and I are not great pals. And so I was directing a play in Los Angeles for free because nobody would hire me. And this TV producer calls and he says, Bill, would you write for our TV show? And I thought, well, I said, do you pay? And he said, well, of course. I said, yeah, sure, no problem. Hung up the phone, broke into tears, going, my God, what have I done? What do you... And I wrote the world's worst TV show. It was so bad I threw a shoe at the TV set. But I wasn't bored. I wrote another one. This time they had the good sense not to buy it. And then a third one, and they didn't buy it. And we're back to top ramen again. And I get a call from an uninformed publisher back east who says, basically, Mr. Myers, we hear that you're a famous Hollywood TV writer, Christian writer. Would you like to write a book for our company? I asked if they paid. They said yes. I hung up. I said yes. I hung up and broke into tears again, honest, and just going, why? I mean, TV show, anybody, books, smart people. And I wrote the world's worst book. And I wrote another one that wasn't quite so bad, and another. And that was about 120, 130 books ago now. And a whole ton of screenplays. And then I started doing some directing, a lot of documentary work and films. I don't know, the three people that are watching this may remember the 16 millimeter film days, and they were heavy-handed, but at least I learned the craft that way. So that's pretty much it. My whole life is one surprise after another because it's like I just keep saying yes, and he keeps raising the bar, and I keep swimming out of my depth, but he keeps saving me somehow. So that's kind of who I am. It's the same thing I'm teaching at a high school on the life of Jesus. It's a prep school, so all the teachers got their PhDs and their masters of whatever, and I got a Bachelor of Arts in theater, and I'm teaching on the life of Jesus. Again, I picked up the phone. Guy says, "Would you be interested?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And I've been doing that for 10 years and just having a blast at it. So I've discovered you don't have to be qualified. I mean, my qualifications are I'm a crybaby, a coward, and kind of a loser. But there's so few people willing to say yes to God that the poor guy has to use whoever he can get. So here I am.
So you're probably best known for creating McGee and Me, right? Co-creating McGee and Me.
Okay.
Would you say that? Would you?
There's another kids' book series called The Incredible Worlds of Wally McDougall that's done really, really well, too. Books have probably done better than McGee and Me. But again, somebody called up and asked me if I would write a Vacation Bible School skit, and I did. And then they called up and said, well, maybe you could make a book out of this. And I did. And that was 28 books ago and about 2.3 million sales ago. So I work hard at the craft because it's for the Lord. You know, I don't skate, but initially I get pulled into things way over my head, which I'm such an egotist. It's pretty important I be there because then I'm always crying out for help instead of saying, "Okay, God, I got this covered. Go ahead and do something else." So, probably started with McGee and Me. I've been writing and directing films, like things like for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, those sort of little dramatic promotional films, and a lot of missionary films. But yeah, then that hit, and then suddenly people thought I was a writer, so I rode that train, and I'm still on it. This isn't going to be broadcasting.
Yeah, we can edit that out.
So, knowing my great writing skills, I mentioned the C's and D's, right?
Yes.
Okay. Knowing my great writing skills, I've obviously, I mean, look at me.